So we got a few new faces, and a couple of weeks ago I talked to you guys about a model focused on change management, and a lot of the conversation around change management focused on emotions. And so today I'm going to talk to you guys about another topic focused in emotions, simply because most of my career in leadership has been involved in either leading people or groups of people, and more times than not the biggest struggle with leadership is around the emotions and emotions that people feel. So everybody here knows what IQ is, but back around 1990, there was a new term kind of coined EQ, or emotional intelligence. And so there's been a lot of studies conducted around EQ over the last decade and a half. And so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about kind of what EQ is at a very high level, and then maybe some of these statistics that show you why it's important. So has anybody heard of emotional intelligence and EQ before? Kind of, sort of, maybe? No? All right, so there's four components of emotional intelligence. And so the first is going to be around self-awareness. And so self-awareness focuses on like looking inward. How do you feel in the situation? Are you sad? Are you concerned? Are you angry? Are you mad? And taking the time before you react to spend some time thinking about kind of what your feelings in the situation are, so you can be aware of those things. After you understand how you feel, it's a matter of management. So socially managing yourself. And so I might be angry, but showing up angry isn't necessarily always the most productive thing that I need to do, right? And so I think about it managing myself and how is it I need to show up in order to be the most productive in that type of situation. The third is going to be around social awareness, and so that's a matter of what are people around me saying, what are they doing, what's the influx or the tone that they're using, what does their body language tell you. And so not only do I need to understand myself, but I need to understand the people that are around me. And then now that I have all of those four components, the fourth focus is on relationship management. So how do I understand kind of where I feel, how do I understand where you're at, and how do I take those things in consideration so that I can remain productive, we can collaborate, solve problems, so on and so forth. So those are the four components of emotional intelligence at a very high level. And I want to share with you guys a few statistics that have been put out as it relates to emotional intelligence. One, they say that success in your career, only about 25% of your success in your career relates back to your actual IQ, and over 50% of your success in your career relates back to your emotional intelligence or social intelligence. 71% of hiring leaders say that it is more important for them to hire somebody that has a high EQ as opposed to having a high IQ. So a lot of hires actually put more emphasis on this than they do your actual intelligence, if you would. 59% of hiring leaders will immediately eliminate you from consideration, even as smart as you might be, if you have very low EQ. The average person that is recognized as having high EQ makes about $29,000 more annually a year. And they say that there's a direct correlation between about 30 to 50% of your happiness in a marriage links back to both you and your spouse's ability to have IQ or to recognize how you feel and then kind of how your spouse is, and so you make productive during those times. So at a high level, that's emotional intelligence. Those are some of the statistics that's focused around it, and so a lot of folks say that it has a high emphasis and a high impact on the success that you're going to have both personally and professionally. So the bad news is that IQ is something you really can't influence too much. I mean, you can get a little bit smarter, your ability to learn changes a little bit over time. But the good news is that EQ is something that you have a high influence over with work, practice, study, reflection, so on and so forth. And the even better part of that is the fact that a lot of people say high EQ is going to have a higher correlation to success in both personal and professional lives than IQ will in itself. So that's EQ at a very high level, and we'll do it again in a couple of weeks. Thank you.